enjoy the movie. So I just came back from ushering for a movie called Beauty and the Beast, a classic 90s Disney animated movie that still lives up to the current generation as it stands and appeals to the minds of kids and adults all around the world. Wow, 2D animation's come a long way, hasn't it? Wait, this is Beauty and the Beast? Are you serious? This is what they're doing now, I take it. Take an animated movie and turn it into live action. And it makes money? I mean, of course. It works well in the past before. What's stopping them now? Alright, because they don't know how to make a Zootopia 2. So the new Beauty and the Beast is a live-action adaptation based off the animated film that shares its genes with the Broadway musical. And I have to say, surprisingly not that bad. It's a good film. In a couple of ways. There are some areas in the movie where I do feel like they rushed the pacing just so they could get to the next musical number already. Although it's not enough to deter your experience in watching the movie, you will definitely notice the rushed pacing towards the first half of the movie. As well as that, the movie is still how you predicted it should be. It's classic Disney with a modern spin with special effects, with a different way of telling the story, while maintaining the plot of what made Beauty and the Beast work to begin with. It borrows certain scenes and dialogues from the two versions, while introducing new plot details, like the death of Belle's mother and the appearance of the enchantress that cursed the Beast. It doesn't go with the script template at least, however it does try to maintain the flow of the animated movie whilst keeping it updated for the current generation. The sets and environments really do stand out, especially when you're at Beast's castle. It looks like it was man-made from scratch, and I couldn't help but love the background detail presented in the film. Of course, the CGI does seem a bit out of place when the objects move around and talk, although I do admire the effort that went into it. But when you're inside Beast's castle, and it looks real, I just think, wow, that's like dinosaur real. So real like that one time when one of the rose petals falls into the ground, the castle just has a giant seizure. I wasn't aware that the rose possesses supernatural powers. The movie does also have meta jokes that refer to other Disney movies. There's a reference to the Hunchback in Notre Dame, a nod to Pocahontas at one time, and it points out old Disney cliches and tears from the shreds like they always do. It's certainly a joke adults will get and children will never get. I do especially like this one joke where Belle just walks into the castle for the first time and the objects were like, is she the one to break this bell? And I'm like, I get it, Ewan, because she was in that thing where she waggles the stick around, I get it. It's only me, isn't it? And speaking of Emma Watson as her main role of Belle, I'm mixed towards her. On the other hand, you can put a dress on her and she'll make it work just fine. When she speaks, all I hear is Hermione. When she sings, all I hear is High School Musical. It's all a tuning in case you didn't get the joke. You could probably say that for other musical numbers in the movie, but I definitely noticed the auto-tuning on Emma Watson in particular. I mean, whatever, right? It's her dream, I guess. At one point, Beast does come across a bit jarring, especially when it transitions to his singing phase. When he's not saying words all low and gruffly and being like, it's forbidden! He sings operatically in tune. All of a sudden, he turns from Batman into Michael Crawford. Most of the action does happen in the third half of the movie. Like in the Broadway musical, the object spider gets gassed on and is telling people to keep Beast and his castle safe. But in the live-action movie, however, you know that one scene where those three gargoyles come alive and they fight the soldiers off while cartoon sound effects play and the audience laughs for a little while? It's really strange to see action portrayed this way in a Disney movie. And I don't know whether to laugh or be like, this is really weird for a Disney movie. But there are some scenes that do contain a bit of action that I do like. Gaston punches the dude in the face. Beast gets shot like 3 times even though we never see blood. And Emma Watson breaks stuff with her knee. So far it's got mildly better action than The Jungle Book. I mean, you don't see Belle climbing up trees and shimmying across branches just to outwit a stupid tiger. I mean, come on now. You see Ariel Finn slap someone? I don't think so. But it wouldn't be a Disney movie without its musical numbers. And let me tell you, there's a whole lot of musical numbers in this movie. Like Disney has probably listened to the criticism regarding the lack of musical numbers in The Jungle Book. So I guess it makes sense they wanted to go all out by literally having the first 50 seconds of the movie start off with a musical number. Now you know they mean serious business. The musical numbers are how you remember them, but they're more fully orchestrated this time around. It has new sections, new variations, and make the song last a bit longer to help complement the extreme use of CGI in the lively scenes, and the emotional drama between the solo acts and the duets, mixing in between the animated movie and the Broadway musical. As well as that, Disney decides to add in songs from the musical, while adding in new original songs. Which I just think is an excuse just to pad out the length of the movie to 2 hours. Actually, didn't Les Miserables do this before? They're just like, let's just adding a new song and nobody will notice. And then we notice immediately after. In summary, the live-action adaptation of the Beauty and the Beast Disney tale is nothing really to write home about. It's done what it set out to do, to offer the classic Disney tales in the new era, while the old fans can get some slight enjoyment out of it. The live action will definitely turn some people off, but I say, give this movie a chance and really weigh it in if you really want to like the movie or not. In the end, it's all down to personal taste, as you're not going to see a lot of action, but you definitely see a whole lot of singing and close-up panic shots. It's also the kind of movie for your kid, because the songs will keep them entertained, and its story will suck them in like any other Disney movie would do. It's no Moana or Frozen, but hey, if people want to see live-action adaptations based on their animated classics, I say go right ahead. I ain't stopping you. And now to talk about my favorite thing when it comes to movies, the crowd. And let me tell you right now, the movie was showing it on its third night, and I couldn't be able to find a parking spot, but luckily I managed to find one because the parking lot was so crammed and full of people who went to see this movie. And when I tried to get in, however, I saw like a long line of parents with daughters of their own to get tickets to see this movie. All of their daughters are wearing like Belle dresses and costumes, and I can't imagine how they can walk in the trudging rain just to keep it clean. It kind of reminds me of that one time when I saw The Prisoner of Azkaban on day one, and there were lots of girls in the line that formed a really long line. It was during at a time when Harry Potter was really, really big. So while I was ushering, I thought, this is gonna be a long night. Okay, so when the lights came down and the movie started and I was watching out for people using mobile phones like usual, every single 5 minutes throughout the entire movie, children get to go on party breaks. Now I couldn't be able to rest or sit down for a change, so I had to stand up and be the courteous doorman while the parents carried their little daughters off to the toilets. And when he came back, they missed major plot details. Sucks to be them. And sadly, I had to criticize the audience on this one. The audience that I had didn't sing to any of the songs. And I'm like, why? They're timeless classics, they're memorable songs, they still live up to this day. Why you ain't singing them, man? I'm disappointed with the audience. I need a better audience. More disappointed with the fact that they left a huge amount of mess, especially under the seats. I swear, every single row there's always a little bit of a mess hidden under the seats. You name it. Sticky toffee popcorn, boiled sweets, wrappers that are hard to pick up with my bare hands, Fanta, some Pepsi. It's just not very pleasant. But hey, I'm not complaining. I've dealt with worse messes than this. Little girls get too excited to drop their own Rainbow Dash toy. And yes, there was a girl who carried a Rainbow Dash toy. Don't ask me how I know that. But hey, what do I know? This is just from an usher's position.